Despite the journey we have been taking you on today, we don't have to travel far to meet the star of our next story. Former NASA astronaut Rick Mastracchio, the Waterbury native and Yukon grad, has had an extraordinary career. Taylor sat down with him at the New England Air Museum to look back on his journey to space.
3, 2, 1, 0. We have a liftoff.
I remember watching some of the Apollo missions over at my grandmother's house, sitting in the living room on this black and white TV. But I really don't think the interest peaked until maybe when I was in college.
April 12, 1981. On the Storrs campus at the University of Connecticut, Rick Mastracchio vividly remembers getting up at 5 a.m. for this moment.
America's first space shuttle, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
And in my dorm room, and my roommate, "Why are you up so early?" I said, "This is history. I want to watch the first space shuttle fly in space."
The budding engineer never could have known that his story would soon be a part of that intergalactic path.
So after I graduated from college, I got a job working at Hamilton Standard in Farmington, Connecticut, and we were working on guidance systems for spacecraft and aircraft. They're the original builders of the big white spacesuit that I got to use on all 9 of my spacewalks.
You helped to design the control systems on the shuttle, which is an honor in and of itself. But to then be able to go into space with something that you helped to design, like what does that feel like?
Well, it was a lot of fun. So when I got selected as an astronaut, I'd worked at the Johnson Space Center for 9 years. I had written a lot of the training documents that were then given to the astronauts. So a lot of my astronaut classmates were like, "Rick, you wrote this document?" I said, "Yeah."
A veteran of 4 space flights, Rick flew as a mission specialist on Atlantis, Endeavour, and Discovery, and was a flight engineer on a Russian Soyuz spacecraft. During that expedition, his crew spent 188 days in space and traveled nearly 80 million miles.
Look down at the Earth and you just can't believe the beauty. It's amazing that as an astronaut you try so hard to get off the planet. And once you get off the planet, you turn around and you look back at the Earth and you can't take your eyes off it. You just nose at the window as much as you can because you just see something more beautiful every day.
And on his final mission, Rick added a special item to his supply kit.
And we actually launched 2 weeks early, so they extended my 180-day mission by a couple of weeks so that we could carry the torch for the Sochi Olympics up to the International Space Station. So we carried the torch up. We handed it over to another crew of 3 astronauts. They took it out on a spacewalk, waved the torch around, and then they went home about a week later and they brought the torch home back to Kazakhstan and then to Russia, and then they handed it off, and then the torch continued its race to the Sochi Olympic site. It was just fun to be part of it. Our spacecraft had special paint on it. We got to see the torch. It was just fun to be a small part of that.
Do you think about the other people who have worn that suit before and what that means to you to be part of history in that way?
Oh yeah. When I first got to the Johnson Space Center and working as an engineer, I was working with a lot of the Apollo and early space shuttle astronauts. I mean, these folks were my heroes, you know, and to sit in a cockpit with John Young, who walked on the moon, was, how did I get here? It was incredible.